podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit.
Yes.
I'm Christy.
And I am Mia. And you all can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour or so. We'll see what happens. Okay, last week, we talked about the spring equinox and just kind of the meanings and what this can mean in your life during, because we're coming up on it now. Actually, today, when you guys hear this, it will be Friday. Spring equinox is Sunday. So, if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, go back and check it out. We're hosting a workshop here in Chicago on the 20th, by the way.
Guys, come on out.
And so for our people local, we're really excited about it. So we have 2 sessions on spring equinox. We've partnered with Ashe
Counseling.
Thank you. I was about to say consulting, counseling, and coaching services. It's really exciting stuff. You guys can go to our IG page, look for the link in the bio. You can register. It's going to be a really good time. We're getting ready to refresh, renew, rebirth, revitalize, re-energize. Okay, sorry. So remember, spring equinox is about renewal and growth. It's a great time to release and what the last bits of those remnants that are holding you back from your highest self. So guys, check it out. So what we talking about today?
That's a good thing. Okay, so we talked about this in our other episodes. We pulled you all and you shared some topics that you wanted us to discuss. And so honestly, I'm surprised that we haven't talked about this topic that we're going to discuss today. I went through our notes. I was like,
I don't think
we've never talked about it. So I'm really surprised. So today we are talking about the Clairs.
Yes.
Clair means clear. And so when you hear each of these Clairs, when you hear each of these Clairs, just replace the Clair with clear.
So the Clairs, you guys. Okay, so there's four Clairs, and we're using Clair as a prefix, okay? And we're going to go through each one. So growing up in a Christian church, you are either a prophet or you're not, okay? So Christy, when she was growing up, she was told a lot that in the church that she was a prophet. So the interesting thing is it's the same thing as a prophet, but you're doing something different now. We just call it a different thing. How about that? So,
exactly.
So just think about like so we'll go through it, but the main 4 are clairvoyant, clairaudience, Clairsentience, and Claircognizance. Yes. So we're going to go through them. And I guarantee you at least one, if not more, of these will resonate with a lot of you guys. Okay?
And actually, as I was prepping for this, and you have to excuse me, I have sushi in my mouth. My throat. So as I was prepping for this, I realized that there are some people who believe there are 6 Clairs. So we're going to go through all 6.
Okay.
We'll talk about each one, provide you some questions to ask yourself to see if this particular Clair resonates with you. And like Mia said, we all have bits and pieces of this. We might have some Clairs that are a little bit more heightened than others. We might have some that maybe aren't there or we just haven't tapped into. But it's just how we've been created, so we all have them. All right. First Clair. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about clairaudience. Okay, so remember, Christy said replace clear with clear. That's clear hearing.
Yep.
It basically means that you can hear things that others cannot hear. So the way I look at it is animals can hear higher vibrations in different tones than we can. I remember even seeing this study that they did. I want to say it was over in England, where there are certain tones that they would play that only people under a certain age could hear.
Oh wow!
So this in this area, the teens were hanging out and disrupting people. So they played this tone. The old people can't hear it, and it drove the kids away. They're like, because they couldn't take it. I was like, that's amazing.
It really is.
But if you think about, like, I can hear everything you can hear, and then I hear something else. So that's kind of, like higher frequencies, the ringing in the ears, or the psychic knock. It's a message. So when you hear these things, pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, do you hear things?
I do. I do hear things. It was funny. I was going to ask you the same question. I do hear things. That's how I would say I would say that's probably my stronger Clair.
Really? So, okay. I didn't know that it was something that I had until I went and understood what Clairaudience was. So, you know how, and I want to say this because I know what some other people saying the same thing. So, you know how you can hear me right now speaking to you through your ears. Mm-hmm. I believe that Clairaudience is when I heard something, I would hear it like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like a voice outside of me that comes in, you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like when I realize it's like someone's talking to you it's like in your mind. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I've been talking to people for a long time. So then I was like, oh, it is. And I kind of do feel like, even if it's a version of your higher self, anybody who's tapped in a little bit into their intuition, that's a version, that's a frequency or some level of vibration of clairaudience. And it's not like this tormenting, like heart, it's not like that. It's literally, because there's a difference between, people who hear voices in their heads,
right.
And I'm trying to, because I want to say this right, like a psychological condition, which, I could probably argue the other way about that, but we're going to go with this for conventional wisdom, or like some type of imbalance where it's this tormenting, like they won't be quiet. That actually is a form of clairaudience. It's just a negative, a different, but you just don't know how to control it. Mm-hmm. But it's what we're talking about here, and something that you can manage and use to your advantage as you're walking through the earth, is that voice sometimes in your head it's more calm. Let me tell you, how people,
that's what I was gonna say too.
You know how people will get in, when you're about to have a conflict with somebody, and there's the voice in your head, it'd be like, man, smack that bitch. That's not this voice, y'all.
Don't listen to that voice.
Smack, because anything that will potentially put you in harm is not coming from a place of love. That's not an inner or higher voice. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to differentiate that. But why do you think it's your most developed, Clair?
Oh, the full moon looks really nice tonight. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, so there was this woman that was saying, she learned to decipher the difference between her own voice and the voices of her guides. And when she mentioned it, I'm just kind of going off tangent just a little bit, but and as I was listening to her saying, I was like, I understand what that means, because when I'm talking to myself, like, Christy, come on, you could have done that better. Mm-hmm. Like, the voice that I hear in my head, is like stronger, or it's more like it's more prominent. But then when I hear the voice of spirit, it's almost like behind that, like back of that. It's more. It's not as loud. It's not as prominent.
I see what you're saying. Because how do you, when you're talking, you're having a conversation with yourself, and sometimes you have to have these conversations internally because, you're in front of people, or you just need to work something out. For me, I feel like when it's something with regarding clairaudience, it's not long. It's quick. It's almost like a whisper. It's not like if I'm having a conversation with myself, if I'm even having a conversation with a guide, that's different. But if I'm doing a reading on somebody, a message will come through very quick. Oh, that's her Uncle Bob. Like, oh, is that Uncle Bob? You know what I mean? Now that could, and it's like that, and it'll be something that it's not a discussion. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it comes in and it's done. I'm not having a conversation with it. It's just like, this is it. Mm-hmm. So that's how I know. And it would be something that I would have no way of knowing. Like, there's no way. I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that would kind of let me know. But
So
I used to think I was making it up. I'm like, girl, you crazy.
Okay, so when did you discover that you were clairaudient?
I'm not even gonna lie. This was when I first talked to Tony. Tony is a healer that we both work with in Texas. Yep. He said that to me, and I was like, oh. And he's like, because I remember I told you, I said, you're clairaudient. But I didn't know, because I talk to my guides, and I know I'm talking to them. Like, it's I didn't know how to, like, kind of pick that up and decipher that was some. So, and he's like, when you're doing readings with people, how do you get information?
Right.
I'm like, and it didn't even click. I was like, oh wait, that's what that is. I was like, oh. I just don't think I had a understanding of what it was. When we get to the Clair that I knew,
right.
then that's different. So yeah, there's actually, but I think a lot of people are.
A lot of people are. Yeah.
So okay. I think that's one of the most common ones.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, second Clair. This is one of the most common ones too, clairvoyance, which is seeing images. Mm-hmm. And so this is using your psychic sight, which is located in your third eye chakra. And this is to be able to see what others cannot see. I like to say behind the veil, such as energy, auras, angels, spirits. And so, I already know the answer to this, but would you say that you're clairvoyant? So, so these are questions that you can ask yourself. So I'll say these questions and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so questions that you can ask yourself. Do you have clairvoyance? So do you, are you using your psychic sight to see things that other people cannot see? Do you see energy, or do you see spiritual beings? Do you see colors around people? Like, I remember I'd be in meetings at the hospital and I'd be seeing like colors around people. I'm like, oh, I didn't have a good day today. But I was just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, turn it off. Also, when you see things, do they give you messages? Are they telling you something? Are they giving you something? Do you feel comfortable seeing these things that others cannot see? Like the time when I was in high school, I talk about the story all the time. The time I was in high school, I was spending the night at my friend Heather's house. And we probably smoked some of her father's weed too. I think she stole some. You guys, I've been smoking weed for a while. She stole some weed from her father's stash. I woke up.
Why are you like a whole old school 90s? Probably stole some of her dad's weed. That is like a whole
because it's true
movie.
It's true, and I was so afraid. I'm like, aren't you gonna get in trouble?
Yeah.
But I was spending the night at her house, and I woke up. She had a rocking chair by the side of her bed. I woke up, and there was an old woman sitting there. I was like, oh, okay. And I turned over, telling Heather, like, who's this woman?
She's like, bitch, who?
Why are you
Where?
here? She did. She was like, what bitch who? Bitch where?
Bitch where? Bitch what?
And I'm like, you don't see her?
And she's like, Bobo. No more weed for you. She didn't invite Christy over no more. She's like, she can't have her weed.
I was like, okay. And I'm just like, okay, I clearly see this woman, and she does not. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But then Heather was like, well, you probably see a ghost or something. And but that was like the first time that I actually like saw something and acknowledged it and shared it with someone who was not crazy,
right?
Or who I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us your story.
So I think one thing, I think a lot of people think clairvoyance means that you're psychic. And that's not what that means. Psychic
Correct.
is psychic. Clairvoyance is one of the clairs. You have clear vision. And so that doesn't necessarily
Can you break that down then?
Okay, so that doesn't...
Psychic versus clairvoyant.
So I think people take clairvoyant to mean you can predict the future.
Okay.
That's different. You somebody who can predict the future is more than likely clairvoyant, but you can be clairvoyant and not be psychic. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. So I'm saying that because I want people who be like, but I'm not psychic. I'm not. So clairvoyance is, so again, remember Chrissy said put clear where you see the word Clair. So that is clear vision. Ooh.
Sorry.
So my clairvoyance is different than Christy's in that. So Christy, okay, so
Oh, shit.
in my building, there is in the building I live in, the man who lived in the unit that I lived in before, he'd been there for a really long time. Like, nobody moves out this building, y'all. And he had one of the best views, so I really wanted this place. And he passed away. So of course, you know, he'd been there for a very long time, and he passed away in the unit. So of course, you know, I cleaned this. I wasn't like, I'm protected of it. I'm not worried about that. But he's still around, right? I didn't say anything to Christy. So this is how and this is what I said, this is what get into the Clair that I really am. So I don't see it like, so when Christy came in one day, she said, "Who's that old man walking down the hall?" I was like, "What do he look like?" She described. I'm like, "Oh, that's the man who used to live here." But she like literally sees it with her outside eyeballs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen to me often, but I get an image in my head. And so if you said he looks like this, I haven't seen it the same way you have. I've walked down that hallway and I felt him. It's like it's like literally all feeling. I can feel him or I can smell him, and then it produces an image in my head.
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh, so it's a different type of trigger. So like, if I'm doing a reading, like, I'm like, oh, Chrissy, your grandma's here. I don't see her standing right there, but I know I can feel her standing right there. And they show me this, and I can see on my inside, and you know, I can feel like a you know what I mean? It comes through the feeling that gives me something in here.
I think that's so cool.
So that's what I'm like, but it's different. That's what I'm saying. It's different types of.
See,
So to me, I would want, like, I used to be like, no, I want to see it like
But
that.
see, I don't see it like that though. Like it's honestly, it's like a veil. And I think I've shared this before. It's like, remember when we had those old projectors that would project on the screen?
Yes.
And you had like the layers of stuff. If you had, so it was like you take a layer off and you're able to see something new or something different, and you add a layer. So, but it's almost like I don't see it like I see you.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's almost, I see it, but it's like, I see it internally.
Okay,
It's
so it
hard
is the
to-
same way.
It's the
Okay,
same.
because
I think we just
I made
take
the
it in
assumption
differently.
that you, like, you know what I mean, like, because when you saw your friend's grandmother sitting how did you see that?
I saw it, but it was almost like there was like that veil.
Okay.
So I don't see it, but I
So if
see
you
it.
think of everything,
That's
okay,
hard
no,
to
I get, no, so, because seriously, if you think of everything as energy,
Yeah.
so if you have clairvoyance, the level of energy density that you can see is higher than a lot of people. So for instance, if I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, Chris, you got a fairy with you. My 3D eyes can't see that.
Right.
That's in the ether.
But you feel it.
Right. But I'm just, but the way that, so like, I can see it in a higher perspective.
Yeah.
No, it's not a higher perspective. It's like, you know, you can see something, but understand that nobody's going to be else going to be able to see this.
But you see it through feeling.
Yes.
Which is interesting because I see it and then I see it.
Right. Now, I've
It's like you feel it
Feel
and then
it.
it projects into
Yes.
a picture. And
Yes.
I see it, but I don't see it, but it projects into a picture.
it's all, for me, it's
So
always
crazy.
a feeling. It's always feel. Like, I know, which is dope. And also, because when you're around people, and that's why you got to watch your energy. When like, for real, like, when I, like, your energy exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm very much so an empath. I know how to protect myself so I don't bring anything home, but you have to be careful about what you allow around you. When you're around people who are lying to you or treating you bad and you know they don't have your best interest at heart, but you don't want that to be true, and you're an empath, when you take that, like, it feels like it's torturing. It's literally torturing. It's like, I know this person, like my body is like, this person does not mean good for you. Does not mean good for you. It's not, but you don't want that to be true. You just,
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And you know what, you always know when somebody's lying to you. And sometimes, every time somebody lies, that doesn't mean that they don't love you. Oftentimes, it's a reaction to, I love you. I don't know how to show you. So in my mind, I need to protect you and lie to you. And I'm not making excuses for people, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a different.
I definitely think it's a lot about protection too, like protecting
right.
someone.
But when I'm an empath, I know you're lying to me, and I can't get to. Even if the story that you're saying is so like, and I want to believe that shit so bad. Please, like, please tell me that he's telling the truth. Like, come on, y'all. But I know if I even have to do that I already know what it is. And that's
hard.
That's hard. That's like, yo, for real. Like, so yeah, okay. So anyway, so how would somebody, so ways to find out if you're clairvoyant. Think about images that pop up in your head out of the blue that have messages connected to them. Like, something just pops up, like
what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Something just, like something like, I'm trying to figure out, I also say the more that you explore it, when you see, Chris and I were just talking about this before we got on. When you allow yourself the opportunity to really explore synchronicities, and be like, you know what? Let me try and see what these crazy heifers talking about. And like something pops up.
All day.
Girl.
All day.
Crazy. Oh my goodness. I'm actually nervous how much I'm busy. I'm like, because you know, sometimes with some elevation comes some. I'm like, okay, y'all, come on, please. I had enough. Okay, sorry, y'all. I digress. So explore it. So if something pops up in your head and you're just like, let me just see. Just follow along. If something says, hey, go get some ice cream today. Hey, you know what? You might want to go take a walk. And especially when you have made a plea to the universe, when you have made a plea to your guides, when you have made a prayer to God, when you've put an intention for it, that you're looking for clarity or answers, and something random like that comes up, follow that shit. Just because what do you have to lose? So sometimes and we've talked about this before, you have to be open to the way that spirit can speak to us. They, different entities can do different things. But part of the opening up is you and growing and becoming more of yourself is the faith and the trust and stretching yourself.
Right.
They're not going to come tell you and write down on a sheet of paper every time. You might do that one time so they can be like, okay, we got her attention. Now come on over here. Because they're trying to raise your vibration, not keep you where you are.
Yep.
So you have to, in order to do that, you got to test and try and stretch. And then it's like, oh, wait, okay, I can breathe up here. Okay, I'm good here. And then you're kind of stretching yourself. I can take in a little more. I'm bigger. And then now, energetically, you're getting higher things.
Right.
So that's it. So try it, especially with this clairvoyance. So guys,
And I think it's important too, because there are some people who just are natural dreamers.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people,
so glad you said that.
If you're one of those people who are just a natural dreamer, like messages or things or people come to you through dreams, that's how your spirit guides or that's how your team's going to communicate with you. So that's something too. Like, be really open with it. If you're just one of those people that just feel things in your gut, a lot of times that's how they're going to communicate with you. So just be open. And honestly, it all goes back to just being present. It goes back to being present, being in your body. So
I like that, but I shouldn't say but. Try, because like I said, I think that everybody has some level of at least one of these.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's next? Where are we at? Ooh, well, Clairsentience. So, okay, so this is literally using your psychic feeling,
recognizing feelings,
to feel the energy around you and receive message through the energy.
Yep.
This is what I've always known I had. I just didn't know this was a name. I told you this when I talk about when I like in my career, what I always felt like gave me a little edge. When I used to be like, oh man, you're just ridiculously intelligent, Mia. It was Clairsentience. And I didn't know that was a gift. I just I'm like, I don't know. It was just one of those things. I'm just like, I don't know. I will walk out of meetings like, I don't know how the hell I just did. Like, how did I know that? You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't something beforehand. It's an in the moment thing. And that's why I said, when you feel, and it gives you that's Clairsentience.
Yeah. So this is something I never thought that I had this, but then recently, honestly, since I started my Reiki practice, I've started to feel
absolutely
from my clients. Like, there have been times where I'll start clenching my jaws, and I'm not one of those, like, I'm not that type of person who's always clenching their jaws, and I'm thinking, okay, this is not me. This must be the person I'm working with. And I'll ask her, I'm like, do you clench your jaw? Oh my gosh, how'd you know this? I'm trying to stop. I'm like, can you please not do it anymore?
Right.
And there was one client that I had, she had some like uterine issues. And before I talked to her, I was cramping up real bad and I was just in extreme pain. And she was sharing me that connection. I was just like, okay, this is interesting. Very interesting.
So you gotta think about that. That's definitely a gift, because that's just giving you messages so you can help them heal.
And actually with you too, like, well, is that feeling? I guess, remember when you were going through some stuff and I was feeling some stuff? Like, I don't know why I was...
No, that was definitely feeling. That's all emotion.
That was feeling. So, yeah, you'll receive messages.
You were crying and everything. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm crying about this.
I'm a G. I don't cry.
Yeah, so it is like, okay, some people would get like a cold, a hot flash, some dizziness, a knot in the stomach, some tingles. I can tell you some of the things that happen. Like my heart does this. They give them to me in so many ways. My heart, the beat changes. My heartbeat changes, and I'm like, and then like, so I'm sitting here talking to you, and in my heart, I'm like, but the way that it feels lets me know whether it's malevolent or benevolent.
Really?
Yes. You know how you know how it feels when your heart drops. You're like, oh, when you feel like my heart drops. When I feel that, I know
when you're driving with your teen child. When you're driving with your teen child.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, yes. That part. That when I feel that, I know there's an energy near me, and I know that it's probably a malevolent energy.
Really?
When like out of nowhere, right. I'm like, and then so. And now I know how to play this stuff off. Now it just makes me kind of pay attention to what's around me. And I swear to God, go over there, look over there. Okay, got it. And I feel that. But then sometimes, if I, like literally me even saying in my heart, it's like, yeah, tell her how you did. So it's, we could be sitting here talking. All of a sudden I get extremely happy. Like this joy just comes over my heart. And like it's like a little kid inside me, like, ooh, 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 like that. And then, like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I know that there is angel energy in the room. I know, like, that there's God's, like, sources here. It's a difference. It's like I get so excited because I know they're...
Just make sure you stay excited every time you come in. That's all I'm saying.
But people will feel it, people will feel it in different ways. So sometimes... like, okay, so like, let's see, how can I say this? So a clairsentient
Just feeling.
helps you feel what is needed to receive the message. So you are clairsentient because you're feeling your clients before when you're dealing with them or before you're dealing with them to get the medicine for them.
Right.
Which is the message, right? Get the word for them. So being an empath is different though. it's that in because empaths feel other people's energy, the environmental energy, and energy from like the people's.
Right.
But you feel everything. Yeah. So that's clairsentient is specific for I'm trying to give you a message, something for you to convey or you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So empaths like have to learn how to like that's why a lot of them don't like crowds because it's too much. Like cause I was like because especially once I turned on.
It's too much.
It's too much.
I can, but I prefer not to.
Yeah, it's just
absolutely have to.
It's like these different noises.
It's like overstimulated.
Yeah, it sounds like you know how when the microphone goes, it feels like that's happening in my head. I'm like, it's too much. Yeah, but now I know how to. So but I know how to cover and I could be in my bubble in the middle of a million people, and I don't see none of you. Right. I don't feel you. You know what I mean? In that way.
Yeah, that takes some practice. It took me some time.
But if you feel like something, you're feeling something, like that feeling that gives you a message, some guidance on how to move forward, and it's something that happens to you often, explore it. Yeah. And I would say, okay, because somebody's going to ask, how can you tell the difference between when I'm doing that to myself and when I'm getting divine message, right? Yeah. So I don't know how to say this, but I'm going to say it. Any message that you hear or receive that is instructing you or suggesting that you do something that will intentionally harm somebody, including yourself, that's not from you.
Right.
That's not messaging. That's you trying to alleviate pain. Mm-hmm. And so, example, you're talking to somebody, your man, your husband, whatever, and let's say he cheats. You are devastated. You are hurt. All of those things. There's something that you'd be like, you know what? I should suffocate this motherfucker while he sleeps. Or I should sleep. I need anything that requires you to want to get revenge is not divine. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So your divine self is never going to tell you to key his car, baby. That's not a thing. Your divine self is never going to tell you I should go fuck his best friend. That's not your divine self. She's keeping
she's talking to somebody,
right? Like keep it real. That's not your divine self. When your divine self is trying to get you to some peace, because it's all about balance. You know what I mean? And getting you back to harmony. We too far over here. I need you to come back to balance.
Right.
So every action begets another action. So your divine self is never going to put you in a position where the action that you will be begetting is going to harm you. Right. That's the choice that we make sometimes. And then we're like, oh, shoot, now I got to deal with this. And maybe that's just the way we decided for our lesson to go at this time in this space. But I'm telling you, divine is never going to tell you bleach his clothes. I mean, girl.
She's speaking to somebody.
I'm just, like, it's the truth.
That is funny.
I'm just like, because it's
don't listen. Don't
that's not.
Don't do it.
And it's some women right here listening to this laughing because they're like, shoot, because I'm telling you, I wonder how many people listening to this right now have done some wild shit like, girl, because God talked to me. He said, you know what, baby, you do you. These people can't do you like that. And so, girl, yeah, I just ran his mama's feet over.
See, and that sounds like something you would do. I haven't done anything crazy like that. Not to a guy, because I'm just like, But you were climbing walls and
going to college, baby. This one little motherfucker had me losing my mind.
Mia.
Spider-Man.
I had her friends like helping her up. That's what friends are
I think
for.
I did run over. Oh my God. Ooh. I've been to the edge.
Don't push me,
cause I'm close to the edge. I'm telling y'all, me and the edge are buddies.
I mean, like, I don't think...
I wasn't scared. It got to the point I was walking the edge like, tink, 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 tink.
Mia's like, you don't want this smoke. You don't want this.
But I can tell you, if you would have asked me, then I'd be like, I would feel like I was justified. Like, real talk.
You seem like the one that go crazy. You'd be like, oh, what?
Cause I'm good. Leave me alone. Don't do that. That hurts. Please don't do that. Ouch. I'm crying. I'm sad.
Now you've overstepped your boundaries.
Oh.
And I have activated too crazy.
Like, are you for real trying to harm me? Like, oh my God. Now I have to kill you.
Someone has to die, and it's not going to be
I'm about to be like, there needs to be some balance in the universe. I must bring balance back. But no, seriously, girl. But I would have felt like real talk. I know if you would have, like, someone, I would have been kind of talking to you, and I would have definitely felt justified. You hurt me. Like, you hurt me bad, and I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve.
Now your tongue must be cut out of your mouth.
Like, and I've worked with you and forgave you when you lied. You know what I mean? So I would have felt like I was serving justice, that it was righteous, that because God's not going to want a world where there is imbalance. Like, Chrissy, I'm trying to tell you, I would have talked you into believing. I would have talked you into believing that what I did was, I'm like, I can't see why you hit him with the car. I get it. Yeah, I can see how you feel like that was right.
And I understand.
Are you kidding me?
And I understand why you went reverse and you hit him again.
Right. You walked in and what? And your girl, I'm trying to tell you, Frank. So. And I'm saying that from experience to other ladies out here listening. So I'm like, I understand, like, for real. But once you get to, when you're talking to your divine self, it would never tell you to do that.
Never, ever.
Because what it's going to tell you to do is whatever you think they took from you, you need to fill it back up for yourself. Yeah. And putting myself in potential, I went to jail. Like, it should be stupid.
Right. And if you think about it, that's also the ego coming in too.
But that crazy like that, that's that. In terms of me responding to somebody that, I have long since, even like, I mean, I'm talking about my ghost game got off the chain after that. Then I was like, I refused to give somebody that much of my energy again. Like, it was the worst because I thought I was doing what was right, but then afterwards I feel so sad. I'm like, this is not, but he did, but I never felt good. Yeah. So then after that, it was just like, okay, I got you. Now if you come over here, I thought I walked away from you. You keep fucking with me.
Exactly. Now you're gonna get what you're gonna get.
Now that's something different. Right. And I would feel like that. But you know, like I'm telling you, your higher self is like, no, you need peace. Walk away from this. Peace doesn't live here.
Queens,
so guess what you gotta do?
Queens and kings.
Yes.
Walk away.
Walk away.
All right.
And it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Next.
Right. Fourth Clair. So the fourth Clair, this is Claircognizance, which is knowing. And so this Clair is the psychic thought. Mm-hmm. You have intuition. We all do. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like we all have intuition. We just, as someone was like, I just don't understand, you guys. No, we all have intuition.
Yes.
And when you experience this Clair, your intuition is strengthening. So that's a good thing. So keep that in mind. So Claircognizance is when you think of something and it happens or you experience it. There have been plenty of times where I've awakened and I have this song in my head and then I like go to YouTube or something and that's like the song that pops up. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Or it can also be when an example of like, or you think about an old friend you haven't connected with in a while, and then all of a sudden they call you or they text you, or, you see her Instagram, like, pop up out of all of them, the first one to pop up. And so, honestly, I mean, everyone experiences this, Claire, and sometimes these experiences happen so quickly that we don't necessarily realize it, because, honestly, like, this world is very distracting. I feel like there are so many things that keep us from not being in the present moment. So there are lots of reasons why you may not pay attention to it, but
so I would
it's
say,
happening.
Like,
take note of it.
Okay, so this is another one that I feel like I came down here with, you know what I mean? Like that I have definitely developed.
Like I feel like I don't have a little
over time. Like this one, right? This is fun to me. because I'm still learning to accept it.
Yeah.
So remember we talked, levels and frequencies. So you have like this level of claircognizance, like that you were just talking about, just like, but then you also have this where it's like an immediate download. And this happens all the time. We're having a conversation and I'm like, oh, did they, I could ask you a question. I got another example for you. I'm sorry, scratch that. Knowing without knowing how you know something. I just said this to you before we started. You guys, this happens to me all the time. I'll go to the bookstore and I'll pick up a book. Go get this book. I'm like, I don't even know why I got this book. Put it on my bookshelf. A week later, 2 months later, 6 months later, hell, Spirit will open up another path and understanding and make me aware of something. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to know more. Let me go experience it. And then something be like, oh, go look at your bookshelf. And I'll be like, good God damn. And I'll be like, I don't know how I knew that. And I will write stuff that, because I do this, I'm like, it's that I don't know how I know this, but I know it to be true. Yeah. So, if you're thinking something, and you're like, I think, or you're convincing yourself, but when I'm talking about, it's like I don't care what you say. I know. And then when it comes, other people be like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. And sometimes you don't say something, and you'll be like, I knew. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, you guys, we have to have faith and trust in that I know, because you could be helping somebody, you could be saving somebody, you could be healing somebody. Right. So we have to have that confidence in it. So I always say, just test it out. Yeah. Just test it out. I mean, I'm telling you, so much of my discovery of me and what my soul is and where it's been and why I'm here is that immediate download.
Mm. See, I feel like the knowing. I feel like,
that. Like I know.
Like I feel like the knowing isn't something that is like a strong Clair of mine. Mm-hmm. It kind of comes and goes. Mm-hmm. There are times where I know and I just know, and there are times where I feel like I don't fully know, so I don't. Know.
See, no, I think I shouldn't say I think, or is it you're questioning whether or not you know?
Probably that too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like I know, but then once we go through the process of questioning, like, how would I know? I mean, that doesn't because our logical brain still works. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that logical over there is like, hey, excuse me, you sound crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So test it. So next time you're trying to figure out, let's say next time you're trying to figure something out. Yeah. And your logical brain, like the brain, this side of it is like, I can't figure it out. Ask your intuition, ask your higher guides to give you an answer through claircognizance. Mm-hmm. Like, just like, I need some help. So you let me know how to do this. And there have been plenty of times where I've been in a situation and I didn't know. I'm talking about walking in, I still don't know how I'm going to do this. I still don't understand. And then all of a sudden I open my mouth and I'll be like, good goddamn, where'd that come from? Do you know what I mean? Like, where did that, and so it's that. So if you get your messaging, your guidance, and your clarity through this, like, I just know, this, you might be claircognizant and maybe, develop it.
Something to consider. Mm-hmm. So something to think, like questions to ask yourself. Do you have a memory of experiencing claircognizance? Was it a song, a phone call, or something else? Again, I honestly believe at some point in time, we have all had this experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And I mean, I also think so another reason I think it's important for us to go through this is because, one, if you are feeling something that can help you on your path, a gift, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that's what that was. It's a tool for you to go explore it and expand it and learn more about yourself. Mm-hmm. And also, y'all, it just trusting ourselves and just help us walk through this life with a little more. I got some backing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here by myself. I got an army.
Mm-hmm. It's the 5th Clair.
Ooh. Okay, I like this. Clairaroma. So that's Clairsent, you guys. This is one of the two less common of the clairs, right? So
And there may even be more Clairs. Who knows?
or there probably is. This Clair uses psychic smell. So to smell what was not in the room a second ago and won't be there later on. So that's interesting. I really like that because
And that's happened to you a couple times.
Oh,
More
yeah.
That I know of.
Yeah. But but this is so funny. I didn't know until I saw this that this was considered a Clair. Because some of my guys, they have scents. They have smells. I mean, and I know for a fact that our ancestors and people that we know, and we know how they smell when they want to get our attention, like look at me, like people. If I'm trying to get your attention, and I know how to send my energy forth with my scent, you be like,
do I smell roses?
Right. You be like, where's me at? Like what? So, but I know for a fact I was with my friend Kelly. We were in Mexico after her mom had passed away. This is before COVID, and her mom wore the same perfume like forever. It was just her, her scent, and Kelly and I were walking, and we both stopped at the same time, like. And it's like when I say it's not, like I don't even know if they still make this scent. Like she just had, you know what I mean? Like and it's like she was like, do you? And I didn't say anything. I'm like, damn. And she's like, do you smell that? I was like, fuck yes. There's nobody around us. Like we're on those big resorts where there's nobody in front of us, nobody behind us. We're walking, nobody. And it was just like, and it was so strong. And she like kind of teared up. Was like, I see you. So I do know that our loved ones will reach out to us, and when they try to reach out, they'll reach out to us in ways that will trigger something in you.
Right.
And I think that's like beautiful. But think about it. Hell, a smell. Remember back in the day when little boys was wearing Cool Water when we were looking?
Ooh, I used to love
this day, if you
Cool Water.
Thank you.
Or Egyptian musk.
Come on. Now to this day, if you smell some Cool Water, you're going to have a little giggle and a snickle. Think about what little boy you like that was wearing Cool Water when we were kids. Yep. So, scents already give you a feeling. They can recall a memory. They can give you a visual image. So, I think that's, you know what I mean? I think, like, who's not triggered by, man, our senses are off the chain, dude.
Yeah.
We could do so much more with this stuff.
Yeah. So again, questions that you can ask yourself, like, have you ever experienced Clairaroma? I don't think I ever have. You know what? I don't think I have.
No, wait, hold on. Didn't you smell your grandmother one day? Was that you who were talking about?
I don't know. I don't think I smelled her. I felt her. I didn't smell her. Like, smelling isn't... I haven't gotten to that place yet. I mean, I can smell. There are times where I smell things, and I guess maybe I just haven't recognized it. Like, I'll smell like floral stuff, and then it's gone. I'm just like, okay, I don't think anything of it. But I don't think, as of now, I don't think I've ever.
But I like it's yeah, and it's such an easy place to explore.
Yeah.
What happened?
So, but yeah, do you feel comfortable smelling things that other people cannot smell at times? That's something to ask yourself.
That's a good point.
I think there was a time that we were walking and you smelled, was it
Metatron?
Archangel? I think yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Because it's just like,
you were like, there's a certain scent that
yes.
he carried. And when I say he, it's just...
Yes. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It's a 3D paradigm. So the sixth Clair, this is Clairgustus, which is taste. And this will be considered the least common Clair. And so, at least from what I've seen, because I've done a little bit of research, but this Clair is using your psychic taste to taste something that is not actually in your mouth. And so this taste can be, triggered, like something to help you get to the message clearly. So, like, I've heard of examples. I don't know if I put this in here. So yeah, so for example, if Aunt Sue, you went to go see, a medium or something, and Aunt Sue, who was allergic to strawberries, and one who is Clairgustus might taste strawberries in their mouth to get clarity on who was coming through.
Oh my God.
So you'll start like tasting stuff.
Wait, why do I feel like one time, what's that woman, she has a TV show, she's a medium. White lady from Long Island.
Long Island.
I was about to call her Lolita. Lord Jesus. Okay, the Long Island. I feel like I've seen her in session with someone like, oh, like taste some. You know what I mean? This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully some good food.
But I know, and when it happens, I know it's odd, but just like, again, as we've been kind of saying, just be open, let it happen, and go with it. Go with anything you're seeing or feeling, hearing, smelling, or tasting, and just realize that you are just becoming more of the messenger that you are.
So I feel like, so you guys, like, think of it like, so if we're looking at our senses, just our human senses, and all we're saying is there's more to these senses.
Absolutely.
Yes. So some of your senses may be heightened, and explore it, for yourself. Because let me tell you something. If you're sitting around and all of a sudden you just start tasting your grandmother's apple pie, you know what I mean? Or you smell it or something like that. And so we'll have people do this all the time. You'll be like, oh man, I just thought about my grandmother. There are no throwaway moments in life, you guys. Everything, there is a reason and a purpose behind everything. That is hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't just think of her, she came to you. And that's a different type of understanding, because you want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So ask yourself, you guys, you got any Clairs? I did not know about Clairgustus. That's interesting. Love it. So, Christy, take away, or you want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, y'all. So look, what the reason why we love this topic, you guys, is because it's important for you to be able to have some tools to move around this place in this earth and living within this 3D matrix, knowing like that you have something that comes with you that will help you through this. So if you think of life as a video game, you know how every character, when they have a
special power.
Thank you. They have
everyone has like
everybody has something that they do. They have a weakness. They have a special power. So just think of yourself like that. So when you first come in the game, you pick so and so or whoever. A Clair could be one of your special powers in this game. So if any of this resonated with you, all we're doing is awakening you to what you came into the game with. Like, everybody should know what they came into this game with, because we out here playing without none of our tools. Right. People, look, I'm like, the guys looking down on us like, why didn't she put it? Hello, you got Excalibur on you, girl. And because we don't know. So hopefully this will resonate with some people. Like I said, I'm telling you, there are no throwaway moments. There's no open your mind to what you can receive in this life. And just because and there's some people who this scares them, because they're like, I don't want to be I don't feel like being a healer or a reader or whatever is my calling. That's everybody who has a Clair. Doesn't mean that's what your calling is.
That's true.
Your calling is your calling, and your purpose is your purpose. But you came in here with some tools.
Right.
Use your tools.
And I also feel like when you take time out to really get to know, like getting back to you, like getting back to self, is how you discover that, and me and I were just talking about this too, because I really want to know and be acquainted with my toolkit, like what that toolkit is, what it looks like, because I want to be able to utilize that. But how else will I know how to utilize it, or even what it is, if I'm not spending time with getting back into me and getting rid of the baggage that I've been carrying across lifetime. So
but Christy, so this is why I started really liking astrology from a science. So I started looking at, like I said, every character comes in with, so we also have some weaknesses. We also have some shortcomings. We have something that we excel at naturally. Everybody has these things. And I feel like what astrology does, it's like this beautiful cosmic map of
It's like a blueprint.
your code.
Right. Yep.
Like, okay, I'm a Cancer. You're going to be an emotional, sensitive ass motherfucker. Now, some people, for much of my life, that was a weakness, something I really had to work on. But now in this space, I'm like, this is a super, but that was imprinted. This is part of my code when I came here. So when you're asking that, it's like, that's how I started seeing it. I had to ignore the conjunct, trine, square, and be like, okay, because that gets you into something else. Like, no, what is the message of this of trying to tell me what I have or what I need to watch out for, or what I need to develop more in myself, or what I might need to slow down. You know what I mean?
But I think you got to that point too when you decided to stop accepting the program that people placed on your life.
Absolutely.
You're like, yeah, no.
I don't consent. I don't. Who wrote this story? This is whack.
It's like, and honestly, like, I was thinking about this recently too. It's like, we just decide to adopt what people say and who we, like, this is who you are. Oh, okay. And now we're walking around being broke, being miserable, being unhappy, like limiting ourselves based off of what someone said this is who we should be. We are, as we say all the time, we are sovereign beings. No one can dictate our destiny outside of ourselves. No one can say who we are as a divine being outside of ourselves. So that's something that we got to reclaim.
Come on.
That's my takeaway.
She said it. You heard it. Drop the mic.
What is the temple work? I guess.
I don't look. I'm like, I actually didn't have any for this one.
Okay.
Look, I'm like, well, not for your journals anyway, you guys. Like I've been saying it the whole episode. Explore whatever is. If any of this resonates, like, just what do you have to lose by seeing? Like, no, let me just see if this means something, because this always happens to me, and I never pay attention to it. Let me just
pay attention, y'all. Yes. That's another thing too. I think we're just.
And we're saying pay attention to you,
right?
Like, to your feelings, to your thoughts, to your, like, start there.
We'll get up and get on our phones and start looking at everyone else's lives and seeing how they're living. But then when it comes time for us, it's like we don't take that same time and effort out. So, all right. So this week's featured crystal is celestite. So that's another thing too. We never talked about this crystal.
We haven't talked about celestite?
No.
Oh my God.
And I forgot. I pronounce it celestite and you say celestite.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's tomato.
Right.
Whatever.
It's CELESTITE.
It's whatever.
I really don't know what is the right way. Yes.
Whatever. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Celestite, because English is not my first language. That's my first language.
I hate you. Oh my God. I was about to be like, no, but for real, I'm like, that's actually a whole episode and thought about this. Because what she said was true. Did you hear what she said? Okay.
And we actually talked about getting deeper with our
episodes. I'm like, okay.
Are you guys ready for us to go
Are you
deeper?
picking up what the baby put down? I just want to know if you heard what she said. I got it.
Okay. All right. So
I'm done with her. No, me and Pam.
All right. So celestite. So the element is wind. It's a beautiful crystal. It's great for the third eye, crown chakra, transpersonal and etheric chakra. So basically, and I have one to show you too. It offers a gentle, uplifting energy which can raise and expand one's awareness into the higher realms, and it's one of the most effective stones for accessing the angelic realm and can facilitate communication between oneself and one's guardian angels or angelic guides. And so actually the reason why this crystal came about is because it is a crystal that is useful for all of the clairs. And so this crystal brings in a soft energy.
That makes sense.
Into your space. So all celestite are available for opening and clearing the third eye and crown chakras. And this particular crystal enhances inner visions and intuitive abilities. So have you worked with this crystal?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, it's a moon crystal. You know what I mean? It's connected to the moon. It's moon energy.
You know Mia loves the moon.
Because if you look at it, the outside of it looks like the face of the moon. Mm-hmm. And it's just beautiful. It's like what do you call those things? What is it, a geode? Is that what you call it? Okay. Yep. So it's like a geode, which is like, like it's half open. You can see. Oh, it's so cool.
It's beautiful.
So I'm going to tell y'all. We should start doing this in episodes too. I'm going to start telling y'all where I put what I use this crystal for, like in my house. I have celestite in my bathroom.
Ooh.
Because like when I think about, oh, that's pretty. Okay, she just showed me how. This is okay. So I have one in my bathroom, because we think about, like, I like to take my baths, and I don't want to go into my bathroom. I don't rush, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't rush for nothing anymore, actually. But it sets an, especially, if I have it next to, like, on the tub when I'm taking a bath, or I keep it in the bathroom. It gives great energy, and I really like it. It's
beautiful.
It's a beautiful, and then I have one in the bedroom. So that's the two places where I keep them. I have one in my bed, and it's one of the stones I've had the longest next to my bed. But I have like a celestite. Like, I moved my bed, but now it's like I had the celestite and the amethyst, always kind of close there. And depending on kind of what I'm going through, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, there's been times where I've slept with a rose quartz. You know that big, juicy rose quartz heart? Cuddle with, I'm like, I got it, please. And Mark's like, I don't care what y'all say.
You're like, I'm
telling you right now, that helped me go to sleep. Like, depending on kind of what you go. So, like, when you have, like, that celestite, that calming, beautiful, and then I'm bringing in some love, and I couldn't sleep. That put me straight to sleep. And I woke up like, thank y'all.
Thank you. So it's so funny that you said that you have it in your bathroom, in your bedroom. So I haven't put it in the bathroom, but I have it in my bedroom, and I have apophyllite with it. Ooh. Like, those are like the two that I have in my bedroom, like by my bed. But it's such a beautiful, like, and the energy is just like gentle. It's really uplifting. It's amazing. So I really love this crystal, and there's an affirmation that comes with it, which is, I am a loving being in the fullness of serenity and inner truth, always in communion with my higher self, angels, and spiritual guides. That is that.
All right, yeah, we good.
Message for the day? Or no?
No. Go work on your Clairs.
Work on your Clairs. Okay, so before we say goodbye, I did want to actually shout out this woman. She is a listener.
Okay, sorry.
No, she's a listener, and she actually just started listening to the podcast. So I'm not going to say her name because I didn't ask, but she said, and you guys send us these messages, and maybe this is something that we'll just start doing at the end. Shout you guys out. But she said, hello, I don't know if this is a weird thing to do, but I just started listening to your podcast from the beginning, and I'm on episode 4, part 2 of 2020, and I know y'all are changing my life already, and I'm learning so much. Thank you, ladies, for creating this amazing podcast and teaching me how to heal myself and live my most authentic life. I have my journal, and it is so therapeutic. Thank you. I will shout her out because I told her that I would shout her out. So thank you, Kirsten Patti? Thank you, Kirsten.
So guys, I'm just going to say this. When Christy, before we started recording, Christy was like, oh, did you see this message? And I hadn't seen it yet. And, like, we're such crybabies. And like, Christy was trying to act like she's a G, but she a crybaby, too. But to hear her say, living my life authentically, or my most authentic self, that's what kind of hit the heart. Like, come on, girl. That makes me feel amazing. Right. Like, I feel like I was just like a gift, like, to know that, to help some, and I know, like, it was just, so thank you.
Yeah.
And, like, seriously, because I truly believe as we help and serve others in their healing, in their journey, we get so much too. Because we really are connected. So think about it. If I'm touching somebody, and they are healing and growing, it's a part of me too. Yeah. And as they heal and grow, the people that they're around are healing and grow. It's see, remember that feeling I said when I know something about that just happened. Like, it just, like, it's almost like when we even start to talk about how grateful we are to be serving in the capacity that we are. I'm telling you, our angels always walk in the room.
Yeah.
Because it's true, and it is so true. It's just we really enjoy this.
And I don't think you guys realize what those messages mean, because I know sometimes I'm thinking, I was like, okay, well, maybe the podcast isn't really like helping anyone, but then we get those, I see a message like this and I'm like, okay, wow, okay, Christy, just shut up and
keep going, baby.
Whew, keep doing it. So this is, I mean, you said that we're helping you, but you all are helping me.
Yes.
You're helping us.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing those messages. Please share them some more so we can shout out some other people. But yeah, we're at time. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things. And before we go, don't forget to show us some love. I don't know about the reviews on the platforms. If you all are able to leave reviews, please leave them. I do check them like once a year. But if you can,
rate us though.
Right, please do, because we do enjoy the feedback, and we would like to hear from you guys. And if you have any questions, you guys can email us at info@twoqueensandcrystalthings, or you can always just send us a DM, as you have been doing. DMs, I think, are easier for us.
Yeah, it is, because we could, it's quick. And you guys, if we're saying things that are helping people, helping you, share with your friends.
Please share.
Y'all, we all trying to
glow
and grow.
We all are. And honestly, like, once, as we continue to share and as more light begins to shine on this earth, it really does help to shift the energy that's currently present. So please continue to share. Don't forget to share or follow us on our individual Instagram pages. Wings Unleashed 444, that is Mia, and then Christy
pew, pew.
R. Edwards, that is me. And you can always find us from Two Queens. So thank you guys. Light, peace, love,
and soul.
And soul.
Bye, guys.